So much. In the meantime, 9 on your side's Paula Soro is in Hamilton. And Paula, how are crews preparing there?
Sure. Well, Tamika, first of all, I am ready for whatever weather this weekend might bring. I've got my snowshoes on, my snow pants on. I've got like 5 layers of clothes on. But you know what? I might not need all of this just right now because, as you can see behind me, the roads are pretty clear right now. No snow, really no rain just yet. But here in Hamilton, if things do start getting bad, Ohio Department of Transportation and all around, Southwest Ohio, they say they are prepared. They are prepared to tackle whatever comes their way. ODOT spokesperson Brian Cunningham tells me they have 140 trucks in District 8, which again covers all of Southwest Ohio, that they'll deploy as necessary. He also tells me they'll have 48,000 tons of salt that they're able to use as necessary as well. And last weekend, because of how bad the weather conditions were, ODOT ran 12-hour shifts. And Cunningham tells me this time around, depending on the severity, might be no different. Now, as for strategy that they are taking, they tell me that their crews are, on standby for whatever might happen. And actually, last weekend, some snowplows in Mason ran into some problems. And I'll break that down for you guys in the next half hour. But for now, we're live in Hamilton. Paula Soro, 9 on your side.
All right, Paula, thank you. And hey, we've got everybody here this morning. Allie Kramer joins us now to talk about road conditions. How are things looking out there so far this morning, Allie?
Okay, so Tamika, they're dry, understandably, right now, as Jason told us. That rain going to move in a little bit later in the morning, so I want you to take a look at the 9 first morning traffic map. We really pulled back on it. You can see the 275 loop here, and then just beyond some of that rain on the 9 first morning radar, kind of moving in, but slowly, as Jason mentioned. We've got a couple of hours before it starts making things a little bit maybe tricky on the interstates, and that explains why it is beautiful and clear. 75 just north of Hopple Street, but don't you worry, we're talking about how some of those crews are treating the roads in some of the smaller towns around here. We'll give you a breakdown of what they're doing specifically in northern Kentucky coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Allie, we know you'll be keeping an eye on things for us. Thank you so much. In the meantime, our live coverage of this storm continues all morning long. If you are not near a TV, though, you can also watch our streaming coverage on Roku, Amazon Fire TV, and Apple TV as well. All right, and switching gears right now, a spokesperson for Special Counsel Robert Mueller says a bombshell report claiming President Donald Trump told his attorney to lie to Congress is inaccurate. BuzzFeed News reported that President Trump directed former attorney Michael Cohen to lie about a real estate project in Russia. Based on that reporting, there were calls by some Congress members to start impeachment hearings. But Mueller, who is investigating connections between the president and Russia, says that report is not accurate. BuzzFeed defending its reporting this morning and is asking Mueller to make clear what exactly he's disputing about that report. All right, well, happening today, President Donald Trump expected to make a big announcement. He says that he is going to speak about the government shutdown and the humanitarian crisis on the southern border. The president posting this video on Twitter.
Things are happening there, and they have been for many years, decades, but it only gets worse with time because a lot of people want to come into our country, and there are a lot of people that we don't want.
All right, the announcement follows weeks of back and forth between the president and Democrats about funding for a border wall. The president says that he will give his announcement at 3 o'clock this afternoon from the White House. Well, happening today, stepping up during the shutdown, now entering its 5th week and impacting 800,000 government workers. Cincinnati police are challenging other departments around the country to help feed TSA workers while they go without pay. Now, on your side, Jasmine Miner tells us the plan for this morning at CVG. Good morning, Jasmine.
Good morning, Tamika. Well, TSA agents are some of the most impacted during this partial government shutdown. But now those in charge of keeping us safe in the air are getting some help from those right here on the ground. This morning, Cincinnati police officers will continue to serve food to airport employees as we head into day 29 of this shutdown. TSA agents are having to work without pay, and they go along in that group of the 800,000 federal employees that are working without pay or are furloughed. But officers say they find it an honor to step in and try to bring some peace of mind.
Today we're feeding our brothers and sisters over at Greater Cincinnati Airport from TSA and Customs.
We are definitely rooted in the city of Cincinnati, so anytime anybody reaches out to us, especially the District 4 or the Cincinnati Police Department, to be able to help out other people, we've been more than happy to listen and see what we can to be able to accommodate that.
The staff at Funky's Catering will be preparing those meals, and then CPD officers will be bringing them over here to the airport to be served. I'm live at CVG, Jasmine Miner, 9 on your side.
All right, nice to see them helping out. Thank you so much, Jasmine. All right, coming up, crews are prepping the roads for snow and ice, but you may notice sidewalks on bridges are untouched. We'll tell you who is responsible for cleaning them off. Developing right now, several people hurt after a 3-vehicle crash in Northside. Police say they had to rescue 3 people who became trapped in their cars. It happened near Colerain Avenue and Tranquility Lane around 10:30 last night. You could see extensive damage to some of the vehicles there. Police say 4 people are in the hospital, 3 of them with serious injuries. The cause of that crash still under investigation. New developments in U.S. Senator Rand Paul's upcoming civil trial against his neighbor who attacked him. Paul's attorneys just filed a motion saying the Republican lawmaker's political views should be off limits. They say his beliefs could alienate potential jurors who don't share his views. Paul's neighbor, Rene Boucher, pleaded guilty to attacking a member of Congress and was sentenced to 30 days in prison. This upcoming trial will determine the damages that Paul can receive. New information right now, a former Chicago police officer convicted of killing a black teenager will spend nearly 7 years behind bars. A judge sentenced Jason Van Dyke to 81 months in prison. Van Dyke shot and killed a 17-year-old Laquan McDonald back in 2014. Dash cam video of that confrontation shows him firing round after round at the teenager, even after he had already fallen to the ground.
No one wants to take someone's life, even in defense of their own. It is a choice to live with forever.
A relative of Laquan McDonald doesn't think the sentence is sufficient enough. He said, quote, 81 months is a slap in the face to us and a slap on the wrist for him. All right, here's a live look outside right now at I-75 near Liberty Way. Conditions are not too bad right now, kind of the calm before the storm, if you will, on this 9/1 warning weather alert day. We'll be back in just a bit with that and more. Plus, bringing a Walnut Hills Art Deco building back to life. The business, the community is looking to fill it. And welcome back. We are tracking rain and snow on this 9/1 warning weather alert day. Here is a live look at Perfect North there. And soon the tri-state will be making its own real snow, compliments of Mother Nature there. All right, well, Kings Island's job fair is canceled today because of the weather. It is being postponed until February 9th. Now, if you don't want to wait, Kings Island is offering an online job fair as well. All you have to do is visit kifund.jobs to learn more about the jobs that are available this year. Well, a winter storm warning now issued for the Cincinnati metro area and our northern counties as well. And you can bet crews are going to be out there hard at work keeping you and your family safe. But I recently discovered that not all surfaces are giving the same attention. You'll notice that bridge walkways are generally left untreated. And if you don't drive, that can be a big problem.
I had to go slower and definitely take my time to almost to a walk so I don't fall down.
Christian Meadows looks forward to his morning run, but on a day like today, not so much.
It was difficult. I actually slipped a little bit coming around one of the turns because it was just ice still.
In fact, all around the tri-state, 9 on your side discovered bridge lanes have been treated, but the pedestrian walkways hadn't been touched.
When you walk across the bridge, you have to hold on to the railing because it's so slippery.
Kentucky owns all of the Ohio River crossings in the greater Cincinnati area, and they are responsible for maintaining thousands of miles of bridge roads and major highways.
Our focus is on the roadways, and we don't maintain or clear any sidewalks on any of our state roads.
So we asked Public Information Officer Nancy Wood, who then is responsible for clearing the walkways.
Nobody's responsibility, because we just don't have the manpower to do it.
Covington and Newport can and do pitch in, but only if they have the time and resources, which on a busy snow day might leave some pedestrians out in the cold.
I think it's dangerous, and we're a city of pride that tries to keep it open to all of our communities. So.
All right, so something else that makes clearing all of those bridge walkways so challenging is how much time it would actually take. The Roebling alone spans more than 1,050 feet in length, times 2 sidewalks on each side that would have to be shoveled by hand. So that is a very, very big, challenging job for folks there. So unfortunately, those sidewalks just don't get cleared, guys.
Not when you're trying to get across. And you know what? Runners love the snowy weather.
They do.
When I was out there last weekend, they were like, this is perfect.
They're prepared. They know what to wear and how to do it right. So there you go. All right, so we're trying to, yeah, exactly. So we're trying to do this whole 9 First Warning Weather Alert Day thing right. So that's why we've got Allie here checking on the roads. We got you here checking on the weather. What are we seeing so far?
Not much so far, because like you mentioned earlier, this is the calm before the storm. A little bit of rain showing up on the radar, but none of that is reaching the ground just yet. What we're seeing right there in this close-up view that covers the entire tri-state, a lot of this not quite hitting the ground just yet. What we are watching is the rain that's still in portions of Indiana. That's going to be moving through, and that's when we'll start to see the rain actually making its way to the ground. We're going to start out with rain, then go to freezing rain, and then eventually the snow. But it's going to be a long process throughout the day today. It's going to be a day-long process because we're at 35 right now, and those numbers are going to stay steady throughout most of the day. It's really not until late this afternoon we start to see those numbers dropping. Watch, here we are at 35 this morning, but by noon we're still 34 above that freezing mark, and then we start to see those numbers really dropping by 4 o'clock, 8 o'clock tonight. We'll drop below the freezing mark, and that's when we see the snow moving in. Here's a look at the big picture. Again, we're not seeing a whole lot of that rain just yet, but the rain in portions of Indiana, that will be moving through. It's looking like 8, 9 o'clock. That's when we'll start to see really those raindrops beginning to fall in portions of the Cincinnati area. Right here is what it is. We are in the warm sector right now. Snow way to the north. This is about 3 o'clock this afternoon. We start to see some freezing rain move in to our northern counties. That's where it's going to get a little hairy, at least initially. And then by 5, 6, 7 o'clock, the freezing rain eventually makes its way down to everyone else. So our southern counties right along the Ohio River, really you're lucking out if you're south of the Ohio River. You're not going to see nearly as much. And then after that, we see snow through the night, which is going to add up. We're going to see some snowfall totals. It looks like by early Sunday morning, we'll be stuck with some snow. Early tomorrow, a lot of the snow is gone, and the rest of our long weekend, Martin Luther King Jr. Day on Monday, looking like we get to see some sunshine. It's going to be cold, but we're not going to see a whole lot of snow the rest of the weekend. It's really just today, tonight, and maybe early tomorrow morning that we're seeing a lot of that. As for the ice, that's really the worst part of this entire scenario here. And the worst case scenario, it's looking like upwards of 1/10 of an inch of ice accumulation. And again, in our northern counties, everybody else seeing just a little bit, enough to make things hairy. And as for that snow forecast, 1 to 3 inches looks like for our southern counties, and right through the middle, 3 to 5, 4 to 9 off to the north. And that's because we're right on the freezing line throughout the entire day, so it's just going to kind of waver, and that means we really get a wide variety of snowfall totals in just a short area here. 36 kind of temperatures holding steady today, 16 tonight as the snow and wind really pick up. Quick look at your 7-day temperatures. Get cold by the end of this weekend. Overnight lows down in the single digits.
That is cold. All right, Jason, thank you so much. Hey, so now is a great time to download the Storm Shield app on your smartphone. So if you haven't done this yet, it sends weather alerts to your exact location, so no matter where you are, you'll get an alert. You can also download the app on Apple and Android devices, and it is all free. All right, speaking about getting around safely, up next, the new plan Mayor Cranley wants to implement to reduce pedestrian accidents. We'll tell you how much those upgrades will cost. Welcome back on this 9 First Warning Weather Alert Day as we take a live look downtown. It is a 5:23 right now, 35 degrees. Temperatures will be dropping throughout the day as most of you are under a winter warning right now. So stay tuned and be weather aware. All right, well, Mayor John Cranley has just unveiled a plan to improve pedestrian safety. He is proposing $900,000 in safety upgrades across 4 Cincinnati neighborhoods. This comes after several Cincinnati public school students were hit by cars across the city, many of them in the Westwood area.
I think there's lots of dividends that are going to be good for the city by slowing down the traffic in these areas.
The plan would also allow volunteers to serve as crossing guards and add crosswalks and additional enforcement citywide. The proposal still needs approval, though, from City Council. A dog in Loveland is safe and reunited with its family thanks to some firefighters. Firefighters responded to a house fire yesterday. Everyone inside that home made it out safely, but they could not find their favorite pet dog. Well, firefighters quickly put out the fire and found the animal inside. The pet wasn't injured and is doing just fine this morning. Jason?
That was a happy ending to
yes,
that story.
Yes, it was.
That was good. Today, we're looking at rain showers this morning. If you're doing some driving, get it done early because by this afternoon, we're looking at some slick roads. And then tonight, that's when the snow moves in. I'll tell you more about that coming up after the break.
All right, welcome back. It is almost 5:30 this morning, and we have your live look outside right now. All eyes on the skies at this moment as we wait for that wintry mix to soon descend upon the tri-state. Good morning. Our tri-state coverage continues on this 9 first warning weather alert day. Meteorologist Jason Myers has been tracking the storm's path all morning and joins us now with a look at where that storm is right now.
Yeah, everything's coming together. We have that winter storm warning, everybody shaded in pink. So nearly everybody is under this winter storm warning issued by the National Weather Service. And then we have winter weather advisory for just a few of our counties. This is where it will be a little less snow, a little less ice, but everybody, we're getting everything today. We're going to start out with rain, then we're going to get some ice, and then we're going to get the snow. So mostly rain showers to start. Right now, temperatures are above the freezing mark across the board. So we're looking at rain initially. Then we get to 12, 1 o'clock. That's when we start to see some ice moving in. It looks like especially in our northern counties. By about dinner time, everybody else begins to see the ice, and accumulations could be upwards of 1/10 of an inch. So that's really not terrible. It's not good, but it's not a terrible scenario either. And then several inches of snow. That will be late this evening and into the overnight hours for just about everybody. And again, northern counties seeing the majority of that snow. Here's what the picture looks like right now on the radar. A lot of snow off to the north, parts of northern Indiana, Michigan, all across northern Ohio. All these snow showers are going to be moving in. But rain showers is what we're watching in parts of central and southern Indiana. All of this is moving our way. And the cold air that lies off to the north and to the west is really just going to rush in later this afternoon and this evening, and that's where we're going to see that rain transition over to initially freezing rain, briefly, and then snow, and that's what will add up throughout the night tonight. We'll talk more about this coming up in the full forecast in just a little bit, Tamika.
All right, so we have crews all around the area right now. 9 on your sides, Paulo Suro joins us live now from Hamilton. And Paula, I can see that you're ready to go. You're all dressed for the occasion, but I don't know, nothing's happening yet.
Well, that's exactly right, TK. I was just going to mention, you know, I've got like 5 layers of clothes on, which is crazy because having studied at Syracuse and having, you know, worked in Buffalo, you'd think I'd be ready for something like this. But it does feel really cold out here. I will say the wind chill is probably what's making it feel so cold. That's why I had to put my beanie on just recently. But things, as you mentioned, pretty quiet here in Hamilton. As you can see, roads behind me very clear. There's no snow, no rainfall just yet. But the Ohio Department of Transportation does tell me they are prepared for anything that this weekend might bring. Last weekend, however, some snow plows from Mason, some plows in Mason ran into some issues. Crews spent a lot of their time on Tuesday trying to actually replace broken snow plows that were damaged from working so hard during last weekend's storm. They had 18 snow plows in the service center. Now, Public Works Director for the City of Mason, David Riggs, says storing the trucks indoors gives them a greater chance to keep the trucks for a longer time.
As we store the trucks inside here, we don't have as many breakdowns as we used to. We used to have everything outside, and you'd have a lot of trucks that were just malfunction.
Now, another thing that helps the plows last longer is trying to get the salt off the vehicles. The Ohio Department of Transportation says that in addition to truck recovery is also personnel recovery. Their crews worked 12-hour shifts last weekend and might have to do the same this time around. Now, the ODOT spokesperson also tells me it is absolutely ready for whatever might come their way. They have 140 trucks that they are ready to deploy as necessary, as well as 45,000 tons of salt. But for now, we're live in Hamilton. I'm Paulo Suro, 9 on your side. We'll send it back to Ali in the studio.
And Paula, hey, you're waiting for the snow up there and that rain, freezing rain mix that Jason has been talking about this morning. And if you're waking up and you're like, wait, I thought it was going to be raining, it is coming. Don't you worry, because here's that 9 first warning radar laid on top of the traffic map here, and you can see the 275 loop, and it is inching closer. So of course, Jason's watching that, and I am watching the roads for you. And something I noticed right here, 75 North Union Center, they've got it zoomed in. It says severe winter weather, and it says give our snowplows room to work. As if you needed that reminder, they are giving it to you there, because certainly you don't want to be behind that snowplow when it's spinning and spitting some of that salt, because yeah, then you're going to just have to wash your car, maybe even a little bit sooner. We'll keep an eye on the roads as soon as some of that rain starts to move into our area. Tamika?
All righty, Allie, thank you so much. Our live coverage of this storm continues all morning long. Now, if you are not near a TV set, we got lots of options for you. You can watch our streaming coverage on Roku, Amazon Fire TV, and Apple TV, just to name a few. All right, stepping up during the shutdown, Cincinnati police challenging other departments to help feed TSA workers while they go without pay. 9 on your side, Jasmine Miner tells us the plan for this morning at CVG. And my goodness, we really gotta, thank the folks there at CVG who are working even without being paid, Jasmine.
Oh yeah, Tamika, you definitely do, because they are part of the 800,000 federal workers. They're either working without pay or furloughed at this time during the partial government shutdown. And I mean, look at this airport. It is completely business as usual. So definitely, if you're coming and taking a flight, be sure just to give a little bit of a thank you while you're coming out here and going through security. But you know what, Tamika, the good news is that Cincinnati police officers are stepping up to help feed some of these guys and bring a little bit of peace of mind. This morning, the Cincinnati police officers will continue what they've done all weekend to serve food here at the airport as we head into day 29 of this partial government shutdown. And TSA agents, again, having to work without pay, but officers say they find it an honor to step in and try to give some help.
It's our privilege to help them out in this time, and we're looking forward to all the other police departments in the United States stepping forward and helping our brothers and sisters in law enforcement in this time of need.
That's great that they're actually dedicated to be able to do their job, which is fantastic, and keep everybody safe at the same time.
The staff at Funky's Catering prepared the meals and are going to be bringing them over. Cincinnati police officers will be bringing that over, all that food over here to serve to airport employees. And again, they're going to keep this up throughout the rest of the weekend. I'm live at CVG, Jasmine Miner, 9 on your side.
All right, yeah, those TSA workers certainly do deserve it. Thank you so much, Jasmine. Our series Move Up Cincinnati is tracking growth and development issues and successes around the tri-state. Maybe you've driven by the Paramount building. The plans for it could have a lasting impact on that neighborhood. Now, on your side's Lucy May explains the type of business owners that leaders are trying to recruit there.
It's hard to miss the towering Art Deco building at the corner of Gilbert Avenue and East McMillan Street, and all the work happening to bring the structure back to life.
This is the Paramount building, and it is being redeveloped into residential units on the upper floor, rental apartments, and the lower floors will be commercial space.
The apartments are scheduled to be ready in March. Esoteric Brewing, the city's first minority-owned craft brewery, plans to open in October, and a bank and restaurant are planned for the ground floor too. Denise Hammett says the project is one of many ways the Walnut Hills Redevelopment Foundation is working to strengthen the community.
What's not happening in Walnut Hills is the question, and in all of these areas, it's exciting. They have demonstrated that you can really turn a business district around, but it's also while serving the community and while specifically recruiting minority-owned businesses.
A House is one of several new leaders at community development corporations in Cincinnati. Hammett says she expects those new leaders to use their own skills to build upon the successes of their predecessors.
They're also bringing fresh ideas and they're bringing fresh connections.
4 months into the job, A House says she is all about continuing the work that started before she got there and delivering what the community wants.
We're seeing a lot of investment in the neighborhood, and that's good, but we want to make sure that people that have been here long term can stay, that it stays a diverse neighborhood across all areas, racially, ethnically, income level, that we're welcoming and we have a place for everyone.
Lucy May, 9 on your side.
All right, you can read more about what is planned for Walnut Hills, plus 2 other Cincinnati neighborhoods with new leadership in Lucy's story right now on WCPO.com. And throughout 2019, Lucy and the Move Up Cincinnati team will bring you special coverage of topics dealing with growth and transportation here in the tri-state area. All right, developing now, investigators are trying to figure out what sparked a fire at a Fairfield motel. It happened at the Budget Inn on Dixie Highway. Investigators say a transformer caught fire, but it is not clear how that happened. Crews evacuated the entire building. The Red Cross now helping dozens of people to find a new place to stay. Volunteers just opened a shelter at Calvary Chapel on Boymel Drive. 18 months in prison. That is the sentence for the man convicted in a hit-and-run crash involving a Hamilton County deputy. Police say Daniel Reynolds hit Deputy Curtis Taylor on Hamilton Avenue back in October. Taylor was working an off-duty traffic detail at the time. He had to have surgery for his injuries and is slowly recovering, as you see here in this video. Reynolds did apologize in court yesterday. Is your car ready for another round of snow? John Matarese breaks down how you can prepare your vehicle for the next winter storm. And here is your live look from our 9 on Your Side balcony cam here. You can see dry right now, but rain is heading our way, and we are tracking when it turns to a wintry mix just to keep you and your family safe. Keep it locked here on 9 on Your Side. And speaking of keeping you all safe, is your car ready for snow and ice? AAA says crews responded to nearly 2,000 calls during last weekend's storm, and this weekend could be much colder. Consumer reporter John Matarese tells us what you can do to keep your car running in this weather.
Here at AAA Bob Summerall downtown, Master Tech Bob Drake says if your battery is sluggish now, like this one.
See, this battery here is rated at 700 cold cranking amps. It only measured 375.
Have it checked out at a shop or auto parts store before the temperature drops to 0.
Battery is one of the items you definitely want to check. When the battery's not good and strong, it'll actually cause the vehicle not to start when it gets cold.
He says give your tires a look too. If they're getting bald, you may not want to go out driving Saturday night.
There's plenty of tread in the tires. The less tread, the worse traction, of course, you'll have.
And here's something you might not even think about. Check your washer fluid. Whether you're driving in ice, snow, sleet, or rain, you'll probably use a lot of it.
Definitely want to have your washer fluid topped off and ready to go.
AAA says it's also important to check wiper blades.
Wiper blades is a good thing to have changed about every 6 months. The wiper itself can get torn, can get worn, and not clean the window properly.
And don't forget, if your wipers are on, your headlights have to be on too. It's Ohio law.
I'm John Matarese, 9 on Your Side.
It certainly is. All right, so Summerall also says to avoid using cruise control in snow, slush, or ice, and make sure that your car has a scraper, cell phone, charging plug, and of course extra blankets inside just in case you get stuck somewhere if you're going to be out in the snow and in the cold. All right, well, our cartoonist Kevin Necessary is showing how you can prepare for the winter weather. He drew this picture. It shows a man surrounded, pretty much buried there by all the winter weather essentials, including a shovel, rock, salt, milk, bread, eggs, you know, the whole 9. I can't tell what that little thing is on the right there. Is that bread?
Yeah, that's bread.
Okay.
Bread and milk.
Potato chips, whatever you need.
Everybody's ready for French
Everybody's
toast.
ready, exactly. All right, so what does this coming winter storm mean for Hamilton's Ice Fest? Well, the event organizer says it is the perfect weather, actually. Jacob Stone says that no matter how stormy it gets today, the event will go on. Sculptors from around the country are tackling this year's theme, Game Night. The event kicks off this morning at 10 and goes until 4 o'clock. So, you know, he used cheese in that sculpture that you just saw there of Mario Brothers.
This is so cool.
Isn't that neat? He said he used cheese and he used ice, of course, and a couple of other weird ingredients. But it looks pretty cool at the end. And
I've seen him do
tasty,
this. This is amazing to watch. But you gotta stand back a little bit, and then they like, they use like a torch.
They use a torch.
Torch it to make it all glassy.
Very, very cool stuff. Allie, good to see you here today. Good to have you here as well, Jason.
Good to be here.
This is a nasty system, and it's affecting everybody.
It is. We're in a hairy spot because we are right on that freezing line. So we have a lot of snow to the north, a lot of rain to the south, and in between we get a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
So we get the rain, we get the snow, and we're going to get some ice. Good news is it doesn't look like it's a lot of ice. That freezing rain band is relatively thin, and it's going to move through pretty quickly. Right now, a lot of the precipitation we're seeing on our 9 first warning weather Doppler radar is just not reaching the ground just yet. It's probably not going to be for another hour or two that we finally start to see some of the rain reaching the ground, and all of those rain showers are still in central Indiana. So that rain is a little bit heavier, a little more steady, and that's what we're going to start out with. Rain, because temperatures are above the freezing mark, and we're holding steady here up till about noon. So we're going to be in the mid-30s above the